We live in a world where everyone's chasing something. Chasing women, chasing money, chasing approval. But very few are building something, and even fewer are building themselves. Everywhere you look, people are in pursuit. Scrolling, comparing, flexing, proving. They'll do anything to be noticed, but in the process, they lose the one thing that actually matters: themselves. A Stoic, however, moves differently. He doesn't chase women. He doesn't chase money. He builds his habits. He masters his emotions, and by doing so, he becomes the kind of man both women and money naturally chase. That's the paradox of the modern world. The more you chase what's outside you, the further it runs. But the more you master what's inside you, the more everything you desire gravitates toward you. The trap of chasing. Most men don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they're distracted. They chase what they should attract. They chase validation, attention, pleasure. And in that chase, they lose direction. You see it everywhere. Men chasing women who don't respect them. Men chasing money through shortcuts and schemes. Men chasing popularity instead of purpose. And all of them have one thing in common. They're running in circles. Because when you chase, you're saying, "I'm not enough yet." You're putting what you want above who you're becoming. And that's not the Stoic way. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." When your happiness depends on her attention, you've already lost control. When your confidence depends on your bank balance, you've already lost peace. Because true confidence doesn't come from having everything. It comes from needing nothing. The power of stillness. The Stoic doesn't chase. He builds. He understands that real attraction, whether it's love, wealth, or respect, comes from consistency, not pursuit. He doesn't react to rejection. He doesn't flinch at silence. He simply keeps doing the work, because he knows the work will speak louder than his words ever could. The average man gets distracted by results. The Stoic gets obsessed with routine, because he knows results come and go, but routine, that's what shapes destiny. Stop chasing women. Build discipline instead. A man who chases women is like a man trying to catch shadows. The more he runs, the further they move away. But the man who builds himself, who works on his body, his purpose, his peace, becomes a light. And light doesn't chase shadows, it attracts them. Women are drawn to direction, not desperation, to confidence, not chaos, to calmness, not craving. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your power. You stop handing it to every text, every rejection, every silent response. You begin to live by a higher code, one that says, "I build, I lead, I grow." That's the energy of a Stoic man. He doesn't need to prove he's valuable. His discipline proves it for him. He doesn't need to convince anyone to stay. His energy makes them want to. Stop chasing money. Master your craft. Money follows value. Value follows mastery. And mastery follows consistency. Most people want the reward without the repetition. They want the lifestyle without the habits. They chase quick wins, temporary highs, and viral moments. But the Stoic, he knows that every great fortune begins with small, quiet habits repeated every day. He wakes up early. He studies while others scroll. He trains while others sleep. He learns skills that multiply, not distractions that fade. And in time, wealth starts chasing him. Because the man who can control his impulses will eventually control his income. The Stoic doesn't dream of luxury. He builds foundations. Because he knows money doesn't change who you are. It exposes who you are. And if you haven't built discipline, money will destroy you faster than poverty ever could. Every day you wake up early, every time you resist a distraction, every time you show up when no one's watching, you're compounding power. Most people chase dopamine. You chase discipline. Most people seek comfort. You seek growth. And that's why your results will outlast theirs. The Stoics understood that small habits build empires. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Habits are your preparation. They are the proof of your future. So don't show off what you have. Show off what you can do daily. That's real wealth." Silence is your superpower. You don't need to prove your value with words. You prove it by what you do when no one's watching. A Stoic doesn't explain himself to the world. He lets his work, his calm, and his progress do the talking. You don't need to post your grind. You don't need to justify your vision. Because the ones who are truly building don't have time to broadcast. They're too busy creating something worth talking about later. So stay silent in your process. Let the noise fade. Because the more silent you become, the more powerful your results will sound. Detachment is the real game. When you can walk away from distractions, that's real strength. When you can say no to pleasure to build progress, that's maturity. When you no longer chase what's temporary, you make space for what's eternal. A Stoic doesn't cling. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't explain why he walked away. He simply walks, quietly, powerfully, and with purpose. Because detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the understanding that you can't build peace in chaos. You can't master yourself if you're mastered by your impulses. So when you stop chasing women who play games, when you stop chasing money that's built on greed, you begin to attract peace. And peace is something no one can take from you. Consistency is unbreakable. This is where the Stoic separates himself from the crowd. Not in one day, but in many. Not in one act, but in 1,000 small ones done when no one claps. While others quit after failure, you continue. While others get distracted by pleasure, you stay focused on purpose. While others burn out for attention, you stay calm and build momentum. That's consistency. The ultimate weapon. Because talent fades, motivation fades, but consistency builds empires quietly, piece by piece. And that's what makes you unstoppable. So, warrior, stop chasing women who don't value your time. Stop chasing money that costs your peace. Stop chasing validation from a world that's lost its own values. Instead, chase mastery, chase discipline, chase self-respect. Because the man who masters himself doesn't chase anything. He attracts everything. And remember this, every moment you spend chasing pleasure, you lose progress. Every time you beg for attention, you lose power. Every time you break your discipline for comfort, you betray your future self. So today, promise yourself, you will not chase. You will build. You will stay consistent. Even when no one believes, even when no one claps, even when you feel alone. Because someday soon the world will see what silence built.